Welcome to Tamara Lynette Tells. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. Married at First Sight Season 15 are rumors and spoilers. If you do not want to know if anyone stayed married after decision day, consider this your warning because I'm about to hop into the latest tea according to MAFS fan and what folks have been saying in these Married at First Sight streets. Let's go! Alexis and Weeping Willow, are they still together after decision day? No! They allegedly will say no on decision day. Now, according to one of my subscribers who met Alexis some weeks ago, they were given the impression that Alexis and Weeping Willow were not together or not on good terms based on Alexis's eye roll response when asked where her husband was. And she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. They are supposed to wear their wedding rings until either decision day or the reunion episode airs. So while they did seem to get off to a really great start, it's no surprise that they decided to go their separate ways on decision day. Bottom line, neither of them seemed happy, nor did it seem like they were able to be their authentic selves in this marriage without offending the other person. Now, according to an exclusive interview Alexis gave TheList.com, she said that when she was going through the matchmaking process, she was more focused on height and physicality, but admits she was a little too vague on personality characteristics. She said, I wanted a kind, loving person, but I really should have been more specific in the matter of Dr. Pepper Schwartz and Pastor Cal Robertson. Don't really know me besides on paper. I really needed to clarify that, okay, this is what I mean by kind. This is what I mean by this. It was more on my end to where I was more generalized at the beginning instead of specific. So I read that as her saying that they gave her a kind of loving person, but not the kind of loving person she was hoping for. Whoops. She also threw in an interesting comment about Caddy and the Ben situation. She said, I wanted to say there's a lot more that will be coming out about this, but ultimately, Morgan was presenting the whole thing differently to me than she was on the show. It's a really complex situation because a viewer isn't going to see all of our conversations on and off camera. It's not all accurate, but stay tuned because there's more on this coming up. I want to speak my little truth in there and say, keep watching, keep fighting for your girl. So that's a little cryptic to me, but it sounds like she feels a little deceived by Caddy. Like maybe Mrs. Don't Talk About Your Relationship with Other cast members was chatting with Alexis about her marriage and maybe doing the same thing she accused Ben of doing to her, like being deceptive in her recount of events. Hopefully we'll learn more about this during the reunion special. As for Weeping Willow, before the season started, I read you a post from his social media. This and all of his posts have been removed, by the way. It's no longer there. So at that time, I thought it might have been a little forecasty, but now that we are near the end, I feel like it's directed at Alexis and maybe some other cast members as well. Who knows? It was posted on May 7, 2022, which I believe is a little after decision day. Here's what he had to say. True friends are always there for you. Fake friends only appear when they need something from you. Time passes and you begin to see people for who they really are and not who they pretend to be. Respect people who find time for you in their busy schedule, but love people who never look at their schedule when you need them. Life is much too short to waste time on people who don't really care for us deep down. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Woo! So if you recall during the season at the candy shop, he accused Alexis of being fake. And just recently, he's been upset with her for not spending as much time with him as he would like. I don't know. I believe this is meant for Alexis. I know he has a life outside of Married at First Sight, but Alexis said he doesn't have friends in San Diego. So, what do you think? Stacia and Nate, are they still together after decision day? Yes! This couple is not a big surprise to me. I really don't believe their issues outweigh their admiration for each other. Now, Stasia's trust issues and Nate struggling with being open are significant problems. However, they both seem to be willing to work with each other to get through it, even though Stacia does appear to be less patient. Now, in the meantime, Nate has still been active on his YouTube channel. However, something that is very evident is the difference between his home backgrounds. In his earlier videos, his backdrop was the apartment he took Stacia to during the episode where she was like going through his cupboards and finding empty oatmeal containers and dirty wine glasses. Anyway, now his backdrop is very different. It looks like a house with like a feminine touch. Looks like my man got a little upgrade to me. So I think it's an indication that he moved in with Stacia as he promised her he would. Now, I also showed you his mentorship website before the season started, where he was offering you a whole list of day trading knowledge for $1,497. Well, looks like he took down his website for now anyway. If you were looking for some mentorship from him, I guess you missed out on that one. In the meantime, Stacia stayed true to what she said on the show regarding her last name. She did change it to Barnes, Nate's last name, and it appears as though her career is still thriving. Congratulations, Stacia and Nate. Krysten and Mitch, are they still together after Decision Day? No. Apparently, they say no on Decision Day and are currently not together. There have been a couple of son of a Mitch sightings in San Diego without Krysten, which doesn't really prove anything. But the fact that their marriage seems to be holding on by a recycled piece of synthetic thread at this point is kind of an indicator that their marriage is bound for divorce. I did find some local news footage featuring Mitch shot only 5 days after the San Diego season premiered. Now, he's not wearing his wedding ring. Now, as I mentioned earlier, they are required to wear their rings until the season day of the reunion. However, even though they were done taping the season during this appearance, his wedding episode hadn't aired yet. So he was in this like weird time paradox. His marriage was over, but the viewers didn't even know he had gotten picked to get married yet. So it was too soon to wear the ring in public because Krysten hadn't given it to him yet on the show. Anyway, they're not together anymore. Moving on. Lindy and Miguel, are they still together after Decision Day? Yes! They were able to overcome their personality clashes and forge ahead with their marriage. Here's a very recent photo of them snapped on September 23rd, 2022. It's captioned, "My hubby is a Coke merchandiser and just seen Lindy and Miguel at the Vons here in San Diego. Seems that they made it through Decision Day." She's a little blurry in this photo, but it looks like them to me. As for whether or not she changed her last name, well, her social media and business pages still indicate her maiden name. I guess time will tell whether or not Miguel will win the last name battle. As for Ben and Caddy, well, we all know their Decision Day was like 5 episodes early. It was a resounding no. And while it hasn't been confirmed, I think it's pretty safe to assume that they are no longer together.
To get on Married at First Sight, you have to have psychological intelligence to where they know you're going to withstand this process because it is extremely hard process. 2 psych evaluations, a 700 questionnaire.
Hours of written essays and open-ended questions with no character limit. So just like, probably 20 hours of essays.
You're constantly being interviewed by experts, marriage counselors, psychologists.
They look into your underwear drawer.
We had to submit our income verification. We had to get a medical release.
So don't come here if you're a faker. I don't know what I said.